What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of NintendFriends, where we talk about everything Nintendo. Today, we will be discussing 20 years of the Gamecube and 15 years of the Wii. I am your host, DA, and with me, as always, is my co-host and fellow gamer, Abel. How you doing today, Abel?
What's up, guys? I'm doing good.
Hey.
I'm excited to be recording again.
Yeah, man, it's been a while since we, did a little episode. Again, we've been having quite a few things on our YouTube page, but, it's nice. It's always nice to come back and do, a podcast episode.
For sure.
So yeah, man. So today we got, again, as I said before, 20 years with the GameCube and 15 years of the Wii. We're not doing it on the anniversary of these systems, but this is the year. This is the year of where those happened, and I think we wanted to do it together, and have something for the for the holidays.
Yeah,
it kind of sound like a nostalgic episode.
Right. Also, to something to this time of year, like November, December, we always talk about things that we're thankful for. And I think this year we can all say that, we're thankful for these consoles, that they happen, because, without them, who's to say we wouldn't have things that we have now, like the Switch,
Yeah.
So at the very least, I'm very thankful for these consoles and the games that they brought, for nostalgic purposes, and then also too just because, they're great consoles,
For sure, both these systems are great. And the one that we're gonna start off with is the GameCube. So it's year 20, of the GameCube. That is just bizarre to me. 20 years.
Yeah.
That the GameCube, since the GameCube came out. So I know I don't have a lot of experience, but I know you do.
Yeah.
So you wanna talk about this a little bit? Let us know, what makes this system so special.
Yeah, for sure. Well, for starters, I think it'd be fun to mention that I myself am 22, going on 23 pretty soon. And this console is not much older than me, or not much younger than me, I should say. It came out.
What year were you born?
I was born in '99. This came out in 2001. So
dang,
we're around the same
old.
age, yeah, as this console, which is pretty crazy to think about, honestly. So it was released in Japan on September 14th, 2001. And in North America, it was released November 18th, 2001. So, yeah, I was a wee little lad when this game came out.
A wee little lad.
A wee little lad. But yeah, no, this console is great. I had this console growing up, since I must have been about 4 or 5 when we got this console. But it's great. All the titles in that console were great. Going off of units sold just a little bit here, worldwide the GameCube has sold almost 22 million units.
No way.
Yeah, worldwide. In the Americas alone, it's sold 13 million units, and in Japan 4 million units, which is pretty crazy to think about, honestly. And I know how people have said the GameCube was one of the more It was kind of like the underdog of the game systems that came out. It was at a point where Nintendo was kind of slacking just a little bit. Xbox and PlayStation were huge in the early 2000s, as I'm sure you recall.
Yeah.
Xbox titles were huge. Halo was really big back then.
Right. And they kind of, I think this was the first time that people were asking, well, what the heck does Nintendo bring to the table?
Right.
And that was put into a question in a big way, and because of what Sony and Xbox were doing at the time. Definitely. And what was it? The PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2, yeah.
And which is the best-selling console of all time. So you know what the
stakes were high.
Yeah, what the GameCube was going up against. But
yeah, I still think that the GameCube delivered. And interestingly enough, one of the main displays of just how hard Nintendo was trying to catch up to the competition was a lot of people did not really appreciate the N64 at the time, because it was the only system that still used cartridges. Yeah. Whereas PlayStation was already doing CDs. This was the first Nintendo console to switch fully into the CD, or the disc games,
Which they would eventually go back to cartridges.
They would eventually go back to cartridges, yeah. But as we know, CDs were definitely a product of late 90s, early 2000s.
No, for sure.
CDs were huge back then. But in order to compete with these other game companies, Nintendo was okay, we got to switch to CDs. We got to come up with a really, Xbox, GameCube. It was it was meant to be like a direct competitor to these like really high-tech, cool-sounding game consoles, you know, like Xbox, you know, this one's GameCube, you know. Yeah. So, and it was really interesting to see Nintendo go through that as a company and like, you know, try to push this kind of like futuristic design. Like, I don't know if you guys remember what the GameCube looked like, but I mean, it was just this silver metallic cube, like
indigo.
You know,
indigo.
It was indigo, and then they also had like a metallic silver
like
one.
Orange.
Yeah, and orange, and like all these crazy colors.
But the indigo is superior.
But the indigo was like the primary color for the GameCube, and I mean like, just the design was so crazy looking. I mean, I don't know if you remember, it had a handle in the back of it. Like,
it was the first. People would argue that it's the first handheld or portable portable Nintendo game system.
Nintendo game system because of that handle. Nintendo was like super ambitious with the design. I think they tried to go for like a really futuristic design, I think, and I really like the design of the GameCube. I think it's great. So yeah, I think I could talk a little bit about my experience with the GameCube right now. My experience with the GameCube was, I mean, just like I can't tell you how many great titles are on that system, you know, that I just had the absolute joy and like pleasure of experiencing as a kid, you know. I played through Wind Waker. I played through what else did I play? I played through Melee, Smash Brothers Melee, which is arguably, in most people's mind, the best competitive Smash Brothers game out of all of the other games that have been released. Like, as I mentioned before in another podcast, Pokemon Colosseum, which I think is a super underrated classic and a really ambitious Pokemon game, was on the GameCube. Just a bunch of great titles, honestly. Star Wars, the original Lego Star Wars, were on the GameCube. That is
the best Lego game of all time. Yeah.
Such a great, funny, like fun, creative game. And I played it on the GameCube. And yeah, I mean, the list goes on and on with how many great titles are on the GameCube. And I really, and you know what's funny is I still have my GameCube, and it still works.
How have you not brought it over?
I know. I need to bring it over, and we need to like record some stuff with it, because I mean,
we do these retro videos like on our YouTube.
Yeah.
And we just it's basically we just Abel brings a console just over to my house, and we just like either play with it or mess with it, and just like I don't have a lot of memories with the GameCube, just barely anything, but the memories that I do have are pretty special. But like I didn't grow up with it. Like I didn't have it in my home. Not a lot of people I knew had it, you know.
No, like I said, compared to the Xbox and PlayStation, it was definitely the underdog out of that series of consoles. But I mean, I still respect it for what it is. It holds a very special place in my heart as a gamer, and like I was saying, it still works to this day, 20 years later, you know. Like, I don't have any issues with it. The system, the games work perfectly on the system. Like, the last time I played it was maybe last year, 2020, just during all that, you know, all the quarantine stuff. Like, I busted out all my old consoles, you know, my old systems, and I just, you know, had a good time with them, and it still works great. Sheesh. So yeah, I'm huge fan of it, honestly. But what are your experiences? Do you out of the experiences that you did have with the GameCube?
With the GameCube, Smash Bros.
Smash Brothers mainly. Yeah.
Smash Bros. And like basically TV ads for Smash Bros. And Super Mario Sunshine.
Super Mario Sunshine.
And is it Mario Strikers or is that that's a
I think
GameCube,
that's a GameCube
game, right? It's a soccer game.
Yeah.
That game was really fun, and I apparently it still holds up today.
Oh, I bet.
So
a lot of those competitive Mario games still hold up today.
It's very, and like after getting Super Mario 3D All Stars on Switch, I finally played Mario Sunshine for the first time. And it has this weird thing where it's like it works and it doesn't at the same time.
Super Mario Sunshine. And
it's a very tough platformer. There's a lot of flaws with it. but it's really fun. It gets fun, and then until it doesn't, and then it gets fun again.
Yeah.
And then like it just has this back and forth. It gives you just like this elevator of emotions, and like which I think makes a good game.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to make you feel something. It's supposed to make you, but it definitely has its flaws, and like the way that it was developed, there's something wasn't right in some of it, but then the controls are a little wonky. Yeah. But man, like after being like a very old game, like it's fun. It holds up in some ways. Yeah, it's very charming, but it is the weaker of the three Mario 3D games. Yeah. But a lot of people like that game. That game has a really big cult following. Yeah. And people love it to death, and I can see why.
I've played it. I've never like fully played through it. One of my family members had it, and I would just kind of like.
It's a little tough.
I would just kind of on the edges. Yeah, just get some of the shines, but I never played through the entire game. But I think I've heard that before, that it is like one of the more difficult Mario platformers, 3D Mario platformers out there.
Yeah. But again, as far as my, experience with the GameCube, that's really all that. There's really not much to tell other than that. Now, after becoming a Nintendo fan again, and after doing research with a whole bunch of stuff and learning a whole bunch of stuff, I want to go back. Like I wish I could turn back time. Yeah. And play the GameCube. I haven't played Wind Waker. I haven't played. There's not a lot of games there's a lot of games that I wanted to play that I just never got to, and I'm looking forward to playing it. I want to go through Paper Mario Thousand Year Door all the way. Yeah. Because like I got pretty far, but you can only get so far when it's not yours. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Especially with a game like that. Yeah. That game really requires you to like.
To be committed, like fully, committed, and just like,
like you have to play that on your game.
The trips that I took to my friend's house, like, was not, it wasn't enough to suffice. So, but I'm excited to, if you're hearing you got a GameCube, like
I do have a GameCube.
We need to have another vintage video game night. By the way, if you guys have like old consoles, do not underestimate the effectiveness of a vintage video game night. Yeah, because it is very like nostalgic. It's very like it just brings back so many memories, and then you get to share it with like the people that are there. Like it's really fun. Yeah. So if you haven't done this, like this is a really good idea to do every once in a blue moon, or maybe even weekly.
I mean, hey, holidays are coming up. People are getting together. Mm-hmm. If you have a console, bring it over. Like
bring that old Wii. Bring that old
dust
old
off the Wii. Dust off the GameCube.
Dust off that Atari 2600 or whatever. Yeah. Whatever you got. Let the kids know what we used to play back in the day.
And you'd be surprised how much fun they'd have.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I got for the GameCube. 20 years, I mean, just full of nostalgic like emotions, and I think the GameCube really is the underdog of Nintendo as a company. Like, produced some great games, wasn't exactly the most popular at the time, but I mean, gosh dang if it didn't do what it was supposed to do, and deliver like some great games to us. And I'll forever be thankful, and I'll forever cherish my GameCube that I have and the memories that I have with it. So I'm glad we were able to talk about GameCube, and hopefully, who knows, if we're in our 40s during the 40-year anniversary of GameCube, and we're still doing Nintendo.
We're still playing the GameCube and like doing this thing. But hey, man,
I'm glad we were able to talk about it today.
Yeah, the GameCube is. I do think that it is overlooked a lot, especially when it came out. But it has earned my respect for sure.
And you know what? What? I will say the GameCube, and this is my opinion, but I think the GameCube will forever, for all time, have the best Nintendo like opening of a system. Oh. Like that, I think, is the best Nintendo. That and the Game Boy Advance are like my favorite little openings.
I mean, the Game Boy Advance is the beginning of our show. I would hope you would.
Yeah.
I would hope that you would. Think
I think the Game Boy Advance is my favorite handheld, like little intro, and then the GameCube is my favorite console.
Didn't we do an episode on that? I'm pretty
intros?
sure we've done an episode on like our favorite systems or something, our favorite handheld systems.
Yeah.
It's funny, we haven't even done that
Check
much
out the podcast.
that much of these, but like I can't even remember. It feels like
I feel like we have such a deep catalog now.
But we don't. It's like maybe 10 episodes at most, whatever. But yeah, the GameCube is a really fun console, and it deserves a whole lot of love. But at the same time, 20 years of the GameCube, it's been 15 years of the Wii.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, the second best-selling Nintendo console of all time.
I don't doubt it. Yeah.
This console sold a heck of a lot of units. Well, it basically came out in November 19th of 2006, and that was here in North America.
Oh, okay.
In the States.
In the States.
And then in Japan, it came out December 2nd, 2006.
Okay.
Which is, don't they usually come out in Japan first?
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird that the release date was earlier for the States
the US. Wow,
than it was
weird.
for Japan. I mean, only a month, but still.
Yeah, but still.
And this console sold 101.63 million units.
Wow.
And the Wii generated 920 million units of software sales. Oh, the second most for any Nintendo console.
Yeah.
So it was the units of software sales.
Yeah.
So man, that's crazy.
I mean, compare that to the 22 million.
You know what's funny?
That's another 80 million.
The Wii is 101.63 million. The Nintendo Switch currently is at 92.87 million.
Wow.
So the Wii is the highest selling console, Nintendo console ever, which is followed by the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, Nintendo Switch is almost out there, and they're selling out like hotcakes. So it could catch up, but the Wii stands, let me talk about the impact of the Wii really quick, and just like the kind of legacy that it held, or that it holds.
Yeah.
When this came out, everybody and their mama had this console. It's impossible to not know somebody who didn't have this. Like,
even if you weren't a gamer.
Yeah, you would go
just
over.
Had
what's
a
that?
Wii.
What's that thing on the TV stand?
Yeah.
What's that white thing? And people. I think it was really smart the way that this thing was marketed, and the games that came out like with it. So like it was very smart to have the Wii, include like Wii Sports.
Yeah.
The Wii Sports game, because it showed what the Wii could do and what it was capable of. The games
it was a great demonstrator.
Really fun. Let me put it in perspective for you, okay? The Wii came out with Wii Sports, and we all know how fun those games are, okay? Like you remember how like Wii Bowling, Wii Skeet Shooting, like
Wii Golf,
like all of that. Wii Tennis.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Baseball.
This was an amazing game, and again, it showcased everything. It is everything that 1-2 Switch failed to be.
Yeah. Honestly.
Do you know that game, right?
Yeah,
the Nintendo
Switch,
that came out with the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
1-2 Switch was supposed to be this game that showcased what the Switch could do. It had the gyroscope. It had the controls. It had you could take off the Joy-Cons.
The touchscreen too. I think,
and give it to touchscreen.
Well, the Switch has a touchscreen.
Oh yeah. The touchscreen.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to show off what the Switch could do.
Right.
And to be fun, but like it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
And Wii Sports that just shows how amazing this game is in this console. Now, there are a lot of Wii games that were just so great. I feel like for the life of me, I can't remember anything about the GameCube, but I can remember a whole bunch of Wii games. I got them sitting on my shelf right now. Like Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. You got New Super Mario Bros. You got Twilight Princess. You got Epic Mickey. You've got things like all over the place, and
well,
I feel like
Twilight Princess came out for the GameCube.
I know, but like
they ported it to Wii.
I feel like the Wii it came out at the same time, didn't it? Oh wait. No, it came out the same time.
It was like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
They had it for the Wii U and then the Switch.
It was.
But nobody really cared about the Wii U version. Everyone bought it on Switch.
So I feel like everybody bought it on Wii, didn't they? Isn't the Wii version of Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess superior to the GameCube? Isn't it better, like, you know?
I don't remember. I know one of them like sold more. I don't remember which one. I had the Wii one, so for
That's
all
what
I
I'm
know,
saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly my point. Like,
Yeah.
you had the Wii one. Like, it did come out for the GameCube, but like,
see, that's the thing. Like,
the GameCube was on its way out.
Yeah, I was gonna say it came out towards the end of the GameCube's lifespan, so maybe more people did get it with the new console.
And that's why we wanted to bring these two together at the same time. Like, talk about this at the same time.
Yeah, because they came right
as
after
the
each other.
GameCube
Yeah.
was leaving, Wii was coming into into its own thing. And another way that the GameCube and the Wii are connected is that the Wii was also, done with discs.
Oh yeah.
You know, it had, it kind of like put things in perspective to where like they look the same on the shelf. You got your Xbox games, you got your PlayStation, games.
That's true, yeah.
PlayStation 3 games, and then you got your Wii games, and they're all in that same square box. They just had green, blue, and white.
Yeah. Green, blue, and white.
And they tried to, they did that again. It was like a DVD type Wii optical disc. And I think it worked. I remember, feeling like it was I didn't view it as like a complementary console. I viewed it as like, this is a console that kind of like has its own thing going. And
it's a
like,
standalone
yeah,
console.
it works. Yeah. It's not, because this is when people started getting like really obsessed with graphics and performance, CPU performance, you know what I mean? Like, and the Wii was still like, I think the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, correct me if I'm wrong, but like we're 720p, and the Wii is still pushing out 480. 480p, really? And like which is again, it's basic. The resolution was lower.
Yeah.
Than its competition. Yeah. But like it still felt like this was a system that kept up with its competitors. And it's just so crazy how Nintendo has been able to do that. I mean, except for the Wii U. But,
we're going to talk about that.
No, I mean, even with the Wii U, because, like,
it wasn't bad.
Everything on Wii U, almost everything on Wii U just came over to Switch. And, like, anyway, so, but the Wii...
all the main titles, anyways, like, the primary stuff.
Yeah, but the Wii, kept up with its competitors, with Sony and Xbox, and it's very hard to... There's never been anything like... the Wii, because it had it had a lot of things going for it with the motion controls, with the nunchuck,
and that was the first console to really do that.
Sensor bar,
yeah. I mean, the Kinect came out after the Wii, so that was Xbox's kind of way of trying to dive into that realm that Nintendo had already dove into.
The creativity of Nintendo and its systems and its development is just it's kind of like unmatched, as far as
Nintendo's very creative.
Now they're coming out with things like that, like the PS5 has got haptic feedback in its controllers. You've got VR, you've got stuff like that, and I feel like the Wii kind of started that. Like it was basically the forefather for these other ones, but the Wii had a lot of stuff going for it, like that was basically made things better with other, with developers, with game developers, and
it opened up doors.
One thing I wanna point out, one game in particular is Resident Evil 4.
Oh, yeah.
Resident Evil 4 on the other consoles, you had a controller, right? Like you had like the DualShock, and you had the Xbox controller,
right?
And you had to use that, which is a regular first-person shooter. With the Wii, you pointed.
You pointed, yeah.
And it made it so much more
immersive,
easy.
Easy.
It's kind of like when people play Call of Duty on a PC rather than like an Xbox or a PlayStation, because it's easier on PC because you can use your mouse to click, where to shoot. It was kind of like that advantage for the Wii. You could shoot with the point and shoot system, with the Wii, that it made it easier, and it made it for a better experience, I think. And I think that Resident Evil 4 on the Wii is the best way to play this game. And there were a lot of things that used the Wii's creativity in the way that it was made, the way that it was designed. A lot of these game developers used it to their advantage.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say out of all the consoles that I've ever had and like played through, the Wii for sure was the one that I sunk the most ridiculous amount of hours playing.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Playing titles on that game or on that console. I mean, I did everything in Smash Brothers Brawl. I collected all the trophies. I went through Subspace Emissary like Lord knows how many times. I got all the characters in Brawl. I sunk so many hours, and I watched like my sister sink so many hours into Harvest Moon, into Animal Crossing City Folk, into just a bunch of different games like Super Mario Galaxy. I mean, it's with every Nintendo console, man. The list just goes on and on, like with how many great games were on that console. And like from a personal point of view, I will always regard the Wii as my favorite Nintendo console.
Really? Home console?
Home console, yeah. I think not in terms of like in terms of my nostalgic connection to it. I think because that was the one we played the most, and I mean, Wii Sports like was one of the most fun games like ever. I played Twilight Princess, I played Skyward Sword through it, you know, like all these great Zelda games. I mean, like, come on, you know, it's just that good.
It was a very innovative and creative console for the time, especially, you know.
Yeah.
And one thing, you know, that I want to end on here is that because of its, you know, because of Nintendo's innovativeness, it made for a really special console in ways that helped physically.
Oh yeah,
you know, the Wii was marketed to promote like a healthy lifestyle, you know, via physical activity, you know, with the moving, with the Wii Fitness, the balance board, you know. It's been used in physical rehabilitation.
Oh really?
And its health effects have been like studied for like several, I think, like health conditions. Wow, I didn't know that. You know, for like they've been used for therapy, like for stroke or people with cerebral palsy, you know, Parkinson's disease. You know, it's been used for rehabilitation, and it's helped. That's crazy. It's helped with people's motor skills to bring them back, and I think that is really a special thing. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure a lot of lives were changed because of this system, not only for, you know, relaxing after, you know, a really hard day and, you know, to unwind and to relax, but with your physical health. Right. And I think you can't say that a lot about, you know, other video game consoles. Exactly. Like people say video games will rot your brain. Yeah. But all you do is sit on the couch, and it helped. It helped with, you know, with the health, and I think that is so dope. Like I really do think that is dope. That's amazing. So
I mean, that's awesome. And then also too, real quick little side thing. I mean, the Mii's.
The Mii's, you gotta setting up your Mii and going in having your channels, your cousins or your friends come over and setting Wii's for all of them and just making them look like them as much as you can. Dude, that was so much fun.
Creating Mii's was one of the funnest things in the world, like as a kid. And all the channels, the photo channel, they had a weather channel.
Dude, they did have a weather channel.
A news channel, that was pretty.
Virtual console,
yeah. I mean, that was one of the first cases of Nintendo having kind of a virtual shop. Or, you know, maybe it was the first.
It might have been. We had to do some tell. But we want to know, you know, more about you guys' favorite memories with these consoles. You know, with the GameCube. What was your favorite GameCube moment? What was your favorite 24. Wii moment? And, you know, these are both consoles that I think are going to stand the test of time. And just people are going to come back and continue to come back and play these games and play these consoles. And I think that's very special. And I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, so let us know what your experiences are. We'd love to hear from you guys. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad we were able to do this. Yeah.
Well, that wraps up another episode. Thank you guys for listening. Remember to follow us on Instagram at NintendFriends.
And you can listen to us on Spotify, the Anchor app, as well as on YouTube.
From us here at NintendFriends, thanks for being our player 2. We hope you can join us next time to play Me.